Yeah, boy!
What is up, my dudes? It's your boy Musha, back again with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about the T-1000, and this is going to be kind of like an overview video. I'm going to just kind of go over the character. He's still pretty early, so I'm sure they're going to find out new stuff, but this is just some things I think were noteworthy so far, and we're going to cover best pokes, basically the game plan, and like different combo routes and stuff like that, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So the T-1000 has a lot of things going for him, like really good things. He has, for starters, I mean, he has a kind of like a command grab, right? He has a really good stand 2, like super good, and he has nice disjointed normals, also like down 4, stand 2. He has decent, you know, zoning with the guns. They are highs, but I mean, he can actually close in on you while he's zoning you, so that's pretty cool. And you don't have to commit to that move. You could do that and then just kind of like rush in like that. It's still minus, but you know, something to keep in mind and kind of like close the gap. So it's pretty cool. And he has a decent mid. He actually has a 12 frame mid, which is really nice. This is basically, for the most part, no, it looks like a lot, but basically like his standing 1 string with clappable all. That string, the first 2 hits are gapless, and the 3rd hit has a gap in it. So the 3rd hit, that's an overhead, that has a gap in it. But you could just do this, and you're 0 on block. So you're totally safe. You can actually do this, tank armor, and then kind of like bait them like that. See, so if I put Scorpion to try to armor me, just to show you an example. Just say I do this, and I put him to do Blazing Charge. Right, if I go... See? And you can punish him for that, which is pretty cool. So it kind of ends up working like a flash parry. So, I mean, really similar to like Conan, right? Because Conan had a flash parry that was also pretty much like that. And you can cancel a lot of stuff, even stuff that's normally like unsafe like this. See, there you can cancel that. This string is unsafe. This is also unsafe, and but it's gapless, so you can go like, right, bait the punish. So super cool. I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with the moves here, but it's just a lot. So that's pretty cool. Good string to toss out. It's 0 on block, so it's anyone's turn after this. So that's pretty awesome. Definitely something that you can toss out if you want to like stagger. You can be like boom, boom, back up, then do this, things like that. And from there we move on to, I believe he has, there's some single button ones here that I didn't put yet, but he has back 1. This one's a little odd. I haven't found such a great use for this. I mean, the range seems kind of weird. I mean, you're better off going with that. And this is slow and it's a double high. So this is the one thing that I haven't found too much of a use for. So kind of like just do with that what you will. But back 1 is a 14 frame double high. It is -2, so it's not bad as a stagger button. You can like poke after it maybe and stuff like that. F-Moid Lance. So this, all his mid strings are interesting, right? So you have a mid string that basically throws on grab. It throws, sorry, it grabs on block. See, so it throws on block. So that's pretty useful. The first hit is great. It's -4, it's 12 frames, awesome. The second hit is punishable, it's -10. You can do the second hit maybe into this, like I was saying, just to kind of throw them off. Or if they think the grab is coming, then you can do that. So I believe that grab, it's a high, so they can duck it. So that's the same as say this. So it's not much of a mix. That's why I'm saying maybe you can do this to mix them, or maybe you can go like this and then do the overhead. So things like that. But that's the use for that string. It's also not a bad combo ender. So let's just say that like I'm doing a combo on him. Ooh, that's a little tough to land. Let me put it into scan. It's a little hard to do that. Yeah, that one's maybe not the best example, but There we go. See? So you can, it's like a decent ender. I don't use it all that much. I'm gonna explain why in a sec. But you can use that to end combos. So the T-1000 has a good amount of buttons, and we're just kind of going to cover them real quick. So just kind of going through the clavicle all, 1, 2, 1. It's a 3-hit string, and it's an overhead. So keep in mind, there's a gap between the second and third hits. So if I put Scorpion on armor, see, he can go ahead and go right through that. So you can use that to bait armor, right? Tank the hit. Get a combo from that. So you keep him restood, something like that. You could also use it to maybe mix up with like the spike move, right? So you can do something like this. Get a combo from that. You can get a bit more damage too. See? So you could do that for 2 cameo, and you get it like in the low 30s. But moving on, then we have deltoid snare. That's back 1. I haven't found a particularly great use for this string yet. It's just kind of there. I mean, the range isn't the best. So it's a 14 frame high, and it does reach further than a stand 1, but it also takes twice as long. And stand 2 is just a better option in most cases, if you want to do something from there. So, I mean, do with that whatever you will. But moving on, we've got Ethmoid Lance. So Ethmoid Lance is this forward 1-3, 1+3. So it's a pretty damaging like combo ender. So if you wanted to do something like this, you could, but generally I'd recommend going for the restand. So like in that same situation, see, that gets you more damage anyway, and then that way you don't have to worry about them getting back up since you have a restand option. Another thing too with this string is that the first 2 hits are unsafe. So let me not do that. But the first 2 hits, he's -10. So Scorpion can, you know, easily punish that. See, if I put him to just do like a stand 1, you'll see what I mean. See, so you can easily punish that. So, you know, you gotta be careful. You don't want to just throw this out. But that being said, it's actually the more damaging option if you're doing it like, because this and this you can use as like filler in the middle of the strings. So if I do something like this, see, I can use that one to catch them, right? But I mean, generally, doing this is going to do more damage. So if I start a combo with this mid, that's going to do 30, right? And that's going to do like 300, the other one's 305, so this generally does more damage. In that same pairing, your forward 1-4, it's the other option from your mid, so this one is safe, but the trade-off is that it has a gap in it. So, you know, you want to be careful with that one. If someone's really armor happy, you're probably better off going for this, because you might catch them with that second hit, or you can tank the hit, right? Like I was saying before with the 1-2. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. It's safer to just do on block, but it has an armor gap in it. So then now Manifold Perforation, the 2-4, 1+3. This is actually a super good string for a couple reasons. So this one here, I mean, what's pretty nice is that you can literally, the cancel advantage of the first 2 hits, right, is 69, so nice. But it's super good because you could do stuff like this.
You got caged.
And that's actually pretty insane. Like the fact that you can go ahead and then like combo into Gento, like the Janet Puppet combos, is crazy, because I can't think off the top of my head of any other characters that can just do that like that. So it's really, really good. You can also combo into like Cyrax Net and things like that with 2-4. And you can even combo into Frost Orb. I mean, the list just kind of goes on. You can combo into the Sonya Energy Ring. So there's a lot of stuff you can do from this string. And it's on top of that, it's like his best poke anyway. So that and this are super good as well as that. So I mean, it's a really, really good string. And then just the string by itself, it's one of his more damaging strings. Granted, you're almost never going to catch him out of the air and end like this, so it's not usually going to be a combo ender. Unless maybe you're using Sub-Zero or something where they're grounded, which I don't think is a particularly great pick for him anyway. But it's just something to note, you know? You can actually end a combo with that, and it's a pretty damaging string on its own. Now, Sentinel Slice. So this is his overhead. So this is his main overhead mix. From here, you can actually cancel it. So not super useful because, I mean, if they're gonna, unless you see them maybe trying to up-block that, then you can grab them with a command grab. But this is an overhead. It's unsafe, so that is punishable. You got to be careful with that, and you don't really have a way to cancel it once you've done it, but you can combo from it. And that's 40% from an overhead. So that's pretty good. It's a nice threat to have, just off, you know, I'd never recommend charging it, because no one's going to sit around and let you do that. They're just going to hit you. But doing it just, you know, randomly like that, that's not, I mean, it's not the worst idea if you've conditioned them to block low a lot, and then you just hit them with a random overhead. So, it's pretty good. Now, Abductive Splitter, this is forward 2-2. So, forward 2-2 is really good for ending combos if you can't get the restand, and then also for extending them. So, like, for example, in that situation, I used it to both extend the combo and to end the combo. So it's good because it reaches pretty far, and this string on its own does 116, so about 11% damage. So it's a nice string to toss out in combos, and it synergizes well with his jump 3-2, which is that string, because it knocks him back further, and this is one of the only things that reaches him from that far away. So moving on, the lateral blunt force, that's 3-2-1-2. Using the full string is not the best thing, but the first 3 hits is actually the most damaging starter that you're going to get to a combo. See, so that combo did 433, and it normally does about 422. So you're going to get a bit more damage starting your combos with that. Now, moving on, Nasal Pierce is back 3-2 into 1+3. So this is another one of his most important strings. Not so much because of the full string, you're almost never going to use that ender, but you are going to use the first 2 buttons. If you just do back 3-2, that is his restand. So I always recommend, like I've said before with other characters that have restands, if your character has a restand, you should be ending combos in it. Because there's only 6 characters in the game that actually have a restand. You know, that being the T-1000, obviously, Conan, Ghostface, Scorpion, Johnny if you spend 2 bars, and then Smoke if you spend a bar. So that's actually, I mean, that's a privilege to have that. And restands negate people from trying to wake up. See, if I put Scorpion to go ahead and randomly wake up, it gets hard to like time your options. See, he can wake up armor and interrupt it, or if I try to meet it with this, he could just go ahead and delay wake up, and then I whiff both buttons, and then he can punish me. So since we don't know what he's gonna do, it's better to do this. See, now we don't have to guess what he's gonna do because he's restood. So at that point, you know, especially if you just end it like this, then we're at advantage. I'm +6 there. I can go ahead and pressure him some more. But you get the idea, so I'm +6 there, and I can go ahead and enforce my turn again. There's a video I did on that about ending combos in certain ways, you know, to continue your pressure, and then that's one of the ways to do it is with the restand. So it's really good. It's also one of his low mix-up options. So granted, if you do 3-2 on block, it's not safe. But if you, for example, do this and cancel, like maybe you do back 3 and then you just cancel. So you can kind of keep it pseudo safe because you can't cancel if you do 2. But you can do like this, right? And then basically, you know, try to like use like a getaway tool, or maybe you could do this into nut punch. Things like that. And finally we have 4-3-4-3-4. So that's this. So it knocks away, right? And I mean, this is, I'm still trying to find a use for the string. It seems kind of like Baraka's 4-4-4-4-4, right? So I mean, you can probably use this and then randomly like cancel into a move. Maybe it could be good for like tick throwing. So like if they're blocking, for example, you don't know when that string ends. So it's like a good way to maybe catch them off guard with the tick throws, since they're going to be blocking, especially one of the ones is an overhead. See? So you can do things like that. Super cool. And that pretty much covers his moves. Now moving on to his specials real quick, we have quite a couple. So ballistic suppression, that's just his down back 1. That's his basic projectile, right? So you use this if you want to stay away, just zone him. You can EX it, and he does more shots. So it's really similar to Peacemakers, if you want to think about it that way. His down forward 1, he walks forward and shoots, so that's better if you want to close the distance. If you hold 1 when you do it, he walks forward more, and he does twice the shots. If you EX his down forward 1, he runs. Now that's unsafe. If you EX it and then hold 1, he finishes it with a hit, right? And just to show you, like on hit, what this does is this. You can switch sides and put him full screen again. I mean, this could be good, for example, if you interrupt them doing something, you can maybe do this, and then now you're plus 12 in their face, right? And you've closed the gap. So it could be used to counter zone, right? And it could be used to zone as well if you interrupt them and throw them full screen. Maybe you're getting pushed to the corner, right? And then you go ahead and do this, and you switch sides with them. Now they're the ones in the corner and you're full screen. So things like that. Now moving on, the tornado slam emulation. These names are ridiculous. Anyway, down back 2, the cabal hooks. When you do it normally, it is a mid. Keep in mind, this is not an overhead. This is a mid. But when you do it normally, he just kind of slams him down. So you could probably do something like this. See? And I mean, you end it and they're right in front of you. It's not as good as the restand, but I mean, it's there. And if you EX it, he pops him up, so you can do another combo. So maybe if you're getting close to like the end of a combo and you don't have a cameo that lets you extend, you can do this, get a little bit more damage. See, that was 39 for a bar, so it's not terrible. And the acute hooks, this is also a mid. This is his armored reversal. So if you do this, you have some armor. See, so you could do that like as your get off me tool. And keep in mind, it is unsafe if you do it on block. Same thing with the regular hooks, the cabal hooks. If you do it on block, it's also unsafe. And that goes for both EX and non-EX. Now, Wrath Hammer, that's basically the Shao Hammer. So the input's really weird, but this is an overhead, and it is safe, which is the most important thing. So super cool. You could do that to mix up options. Like for example, if you're gonna do this, that has a low, you can go into the hammer. That's an overhead. So just a way to kind of like keep people guessing. You can also use it to keep yourself safe with strings that would otherwise not be, like this, for example. You can go like this, and there you're safe now. Super fluid. This is when we get into the important ones, right? So this, super good. This is going to be your main combo extender, your meterless combo extender. If you do this, you can cancel, and you can get your combo that way, because from the super fluid, you have 3 moves you can do. You can do a spike move, I don't see a particularly great use for this, to be honest with you, because if you're gonna do something, the spike move itself is unsafe, and if you're gonna do something unsafe, you might as well get a combo from it. And if you're gonna try to get a combo, you might as well not need to spend cameo to do it. So I'm not sure why they added this, but it's there. This is better because you can jump yourself and get a combo afterward. But if you do one during it, you get the spikes nonetheless. If you do two during it, 2 or 4, then you get your hooks, which this is your main launcher, like I said. You can still jump after that. And the last thing is if you press 3 during it, and he just cancels. So if you're doing something like this, then you can cancel afterward. Maybe you do this, cancel, get the grab. Right? And you can even use this cancel to kind of like almost do like a, instead of having to dash multiple times, you can use it to keep following them as like Janet's comboing them, for example, or to close the gap. Something like this. So that's pretty cool, pretty useful. This back forward 4 is a really good button because you can use it to not only punish things like a down 1, for example, like let's just say that you're doing this and they down 1 you can punish it. So if they don't know to go for a more damaging move, you can get a full combo like that. And you're going to want to use cameos that basically combo from this move, because you're going to use it a whole lot. So it's not just to do things like tank hits, but also you can tick throw with it. See, so the opponent's like blocking a lot, maybe they're not, you know, falling for anything you do, right? Then you can go ahead and do something like this, and then tick throw them. And if you use a cameo that gets a full combo from that tick throw, that's huge, because then it becomes just like Ghostface or Reiko, where you can do some pressure, then grab them for, basically punish them for blocking too much. The other move out of it is his mid, right? So you can do a mid from there. It's similar to this, like you can do his armor move from it, but it's a mix-up option, you know, if they're blocking or if they try to duck, right? Because the thing is that this throw, that's a high, so you can do the mid to try to punish it, but if they do block that, you are minus 18. So you got to be careful with that. But that pretty much covers all his special moves. Moving on to kind of like his game plan and stuff. His best poke is going to be his stand 2, and then his down 4. So, and then also the sacral spike. So if I do this, that's an amazing poke too. I mean, you can do that like I said before. You can literally do it from round start, but this especially is a really good one. This is up there with like Shao's stand 2 territory and like Conan's stand 1. Like this is really good. So you typically want to use this in the neutral, right? See if you can fish a hit. And then if you hit him with the down 4, you can try to follow it up with like a forward 1, just in case they try to mash. You do that, forward 1, you'll catch them. You get a restand if you don't drop it like that, but you get a restand, and you just continue your pressure that way. The other thing is if they're too defensive, you can do the, like I said, you can do the command grab, and you want to do this instead of just doing regular throws. You want to go for this. You can almost do it just as quick, right? It's the same thing. So, but the difference is that with this one, you can more consistently get combos with that. Where with this, it's a little tougher too. And you can also use like the super fluid to kind of like mix up their inputs. So let's just say you end the combo with this, right? Let's assume maybe I'm not using Janet. Let's say I'm using, for example, Sector. You can do some cool tech with it, like this. You can kind of get like a vortex going like that, so that's pretty neat. Definitely there's some good cameos for him. Sector is not a bad one. I mean, you get combos from his command throw. And like I said earlier, like any cameo that you get combos from the throw is going to be a really good cameo for him. And that's going to get you like, 22. And if you wanted to do the gunshots, you get about 25. And that's one of the cool things about the T-1000 is he does have a lot of cameo diversity, right? So like you can use him with different cameos Sector is another good one, you know, because of that vortex. He also kind of reinforces to the zoning game. So like you can have this missile going at the same time as you're doing your walk, stuff like that. So like maybe you do something like this. See, and if they go ahead and they try to hit you or they try to duck your grab, then they get hit with the missile and you can full combo. If they try to hit you while you're in that state, then they can get hit with the missile, you can then cancel and then still go for a full combo. So I mean, it's really good. But I think his best cameo, I know everyone's hopping on the Movado train because they always hop on the Movado train. They thought Movado was best with Noob, turned out to be Janet. They thought Movado was best with Ghostface, guess what? Turned out to be Scorpion. And now they're going to think Movado is best with T-1000, and it's probably going to turn out to be Janet. So they just put Movado on everything because he's like a cookie cutter, easy bake oven cameo. Kind of like Serena was when the game first came out. Everyone thought Serena was the best cameo. Little rant aside, the best cameo for the T-1000 is probably going to be Janet. And the reason why is because she can combo from his command grab. Which is already going to put her a tier above the other cameos. But in addition, she gives him insane damage. Considering that his 2-4 can combo into Gento like this. So the simple fact that he can do that with Janet and like no other character in the cast can combo into Gento that way already is going to put him paired with Janet super good, because any hit essentially becomes a vortex of death. You know, you get a guaranteed 41, 42%, and then you get a real restand into a hard to blockable overhead or low mix. That's insane. In addition to that, she's also just going to give him great corner carry. So let's just say you land this and you don't want to take the Gento route for whatever reason. You can still get a chunky 42 meterlessly like that. And that means you can save his bar for breaker, you can save his bar for doing the EX run to close the gap, for doing the EX armored move, right? The EX armored walk, so that we can take more hits. It's just insane. There's a lot of things you can do, and this is a real poke special that you can do. Because if I put Scorpion to go ahead and do like a poke reversal, right? If I put him to do that, he gets a full combo from it. And then there's the cheap stuff that you can do, like you can put up the wall and just basically poke him. But you can do that, right? Shoot, do the spike, and just be really cheap about it. And you can even, and it synergizes really well with this too, because if they try to jump, because they think you're going to do that, you can catch them jumping. He also gets a punish from a poke. She gives him 32% from a poke, so that's super good. And you can even go and get like 25 into a restand like I showed earlier. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with Janet that just severely outweighs what you can do with, say, Movado. Because Movado is just, he's going to give you conversions and stuff like that, but he's not going to give you a Gento combo mid-screen that you can then go ahead and loop. And that's just mid-screen, right? If we go to the corner, right, then he gets stuff like this. Which is crazy. And his regular B&B becomes this instead. He doesn't even need cameo for that. And since he doesn't need to spend cameo, then you have even more of a chance to get this out. So super, super good. And his typical confirms, like I was saying, just to kind of go over them one more time, is going to be if you're mid-screen and you're not going to spend cameo, you're going to do this route. So that's going to be off any confirm. You could do forward 1-3, you could do forward 1-4, stand 2-1, 1-2, right? Any of that, what you're typically going to go for is you're going to go for the puddle, right, into the uppercut, jump 1-2-2, back 3-2, right? That's typically going to be your go-to. You can choose to end it in gunshots or not. If you end it in gunshots, then you're going to be less at advantage. So you're actually going to be -1. You're not going to be an advantage if you do full gunshots. So I personally would do something like this. And then just take my advantage and like give up the 3%, but guarantee that it's still my turn. And if you want to spend cameo, then you could do something like this. See, and then you're going to get 37%. So it's pretty good. I think you're better off going for the restand if you're going to spend cameo. And if you're not going to go for the restand, then you can do this route. It's a bit more damage, but you do lose that advantage of it being your turn afterward. And if you're going to spend 2 cameo, then you can do this route. And that gives you 42% for a 2 cameo. And if you land a 2-4 for a more advanced combo, then you could actually do this. And the way that you're going to do that, if you guys want, I'll do a video another time breaking it down. But when you do 2-4, you call the stunt double. And that's going to be, it's a little tricky, but when you get the hang of it, you get a super hard punish. And then keep in mind, right, once she's out and we're in this situation, you can do a hard to blockable from there. See, that's real. You can get a hard to blockable from that. Obviously, you're not going to just do a point blank, but at the end of that sequence that I showed you, you can go ahead and do that. That's one option. The other option is if you do the shots, then you can do the uppercut. She has to be on the other side. I mean, she's on the other side in both sequences, but if you do this... So you already saw the different routes that you can do. If you guys want me to, I could do another video breaking down the Gento setup and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers all bases, guys. So we went over the normals, we went over special moves, and we went over the best cameo pick for him, I think, as well as just some other things that you can go for, like Sector. You can pick Mavado as well, but I think neither cameo is going to be as good as Janet. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. And remember, if you did, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And as always, be easy, guys.